Hello and welcome back to Fan Geektastic. Today I decided I was going to do something other than comic books or trading cards, and I'm going to talk about 3D printing. Now currently my 3D printer is not operating the way I want it to, so I'm not going to be printing anything for you. What I'm going to talk about is stuff that I've already 3D printed. Item number one is my Han Solo blaster. I have 3D printable parts available on My Mini Factory. The only thing that you need to buy is a airsoft, and I have just a plastic airsoft that is a nice base to start off with, and all the pieces except for, well, I'll show you the ones that are different. This is what you want to start off with, just your basic broom-handled Mauser, and I've already adjusted this one, so I've added the screws. The spacers are available with the download of all the pieces except for the flash hider. The flash hider is its own separate download, but you have your scope mount, and I recommend most people print it this way. It's the least amount of supports needed, and that goes here. And if you look at this one, you see this hole here is this where this post goes, and these are just screws that I cut off and rounded off with a file. There is no hole over here for this one. You have to add that one in, but even with adding that in, I still have it set up so that you can still use the gun. So even with that post in, you can still use the gun. Whenever you add this in, you can still use it. It's not going to get in the way. So the next thing that you add in is going to be, I'm going to remove this so it doesn't fall off, the sensor unit. That just slides on like this, and it's pressure fit in place. And then after that, you add your flash suppressor slash hider, whatever you want to call it. And there is the hole for adding your screw. And then you want to add your sight screws to hold everything in place before you attach it to the gun. And then you can color it any way that you want. Now this isn't the correct size for the scope. The scope is actually a little bit shorter. This is a real scope that I put on it because I was able to get one for less than $10. But if you want, you can just 3D print the scope. Those work excellent. I have one that I put on my smaller version. Now this is smaller. It's about 80% of the correct size, and it is a metal gun, airsoft still, but it's metal. And the final piece that would go on is the front grille. And all these parts are available through my Mini Factory page. You can download all the pieces, print them out. The only thing that's not on there is this flash hider, and that's its own download. Now the final pieces that are required to finish off this are these screw caps. And they just screw into place. And because of the way that most 3D printers work, building them up layer by layer, it gives you the ability to screw these things in pretty easily. And minus putting the screws to hold the scope in place, this is fully assembled and ready to be put out on display. The other Star Wars blaster that I have available on my Mini Factory is Ray's blaster. I have two different versions that I've made. This is the second one. The barrel is two pieces. This is one piece. This plate is its own piece. The main body here is its own piece. The handle here, you have the grips are one piece on each side, and then there's three pieces, and then this is its own piece, and it's got a hole here to put in the screw that I haven't added to this one yet. This piece here is its own piece. This piece and then this piece are their own piece, and then this piece is its own piece. So there are many pieces for this one. I have another version that has been out since The Force Awakens was still in theaters, and it is basically the same gun, but it's only four pieces. It's one piece barrel, then the sensor, the main body, and the handle. And if I remember correctly, the grips are one piece, or part of the handle already. So everything, including the hammer back here, is all one piece. And this right here was a round nub, and it was originally designed so that people in the Facebook 3D print props group could print it out. At that point in time, no one else had shared a version of this blaster for people to download, and I decided I was going to make one that everybody in the group could use. So I sat down. Took me about 2 hours to come up with the first version. The first version did not have these little grooves in the handle. Whenever I first posted it, it did not have those, and then I realized that I forgot them. I went back into my program, made the adjustments, and then re-uploaded it about 30 minutes later with the grooves. And there's been 3 or 4 different people on YouTube that have 3D printed this particular gun in the original version, and most of them were printed from the file that did not have the grooves. So those are the 3 blasters for Star Wars that I currently have available on my mini factory. I do have other stuff in there, like Malcolm Reynolds' gun from Firefly. I have a static belt buckle for Deadpool, the movie version. And I have a working version where it flexes with about a 45-degree angle. The comes apart so that you can take your belt off, and this side moves freely. Now if you turn this one 90 degrees, it'll come off also, so you can print them as individual pieces and not have to worry about them sticking together. And the good news is they're still really strong. With this one right here, I've actually had about 45 pounds of weight on it, and it did warp it a little bit, but it went right back to where it was after I let the pressure off. This one I've had about 20 or 25 pounds, somewhere around there, of pressure on it, and it did not break. So as narrow as this piece is, it's pretty sturdy. So that's my 3D information for the time being. If you want to check out my designs, I will put a link to my mini factory page so you can check it out. For everything you're a fan of, everything you geek out about, this is Fan Geektastic, and we're here for you.